Okay, I believe I am live now to see if we get this on the YouTube channel. Yes. Oh, it says upcoming. Well, now, how long is that going to be upcoming? Oh, there you go. All right. Good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Sheila Corona. Welcome to New Light Streaming Love. Today is Monday, November the 25th, 2025. No, it's not. It's 2024. I don't know why I said 2025. Isn't that interesting? Have I visited the 2025 timeline? What is that about? Oh, and here comes Crystal to join me. Yay. All right. Good morning, sweetie heart. We are live. I thought I'd let
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you asked me, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going live right now." So I'm so glad you could come and join me.
Oh, well, I figured I would just hop on my phone instead of setting my laptop and webcam back up. So,
Okay, I got you. Well, I'm just glad to have you. That's all. How are you? Gosh, we haven't seen each other since the last live we did together.
yeah, no, it's been about a week, hasn't it?
I think so. I mean, I check in with you every now and again, see how you are and whatnot. But you've been a busy lady as of late.
Yeah, I've been working a lot.
Well, girl, let me fill you in a little bit. I don't know if you saw what happened on Saturday night, but OMG.
What
Oh,
happened?
in all the years I've been doing this, Crystal, in all the years that I have, hold on a second, in all the years that I have been conducting live intuitive sessions, I've read for one or two men you know, that show up, maybe as many as two in one session. But never have I only had men asking for cards, only men who were commenting, and only men who not only were so open and honest and vulnerable with me, but with each other. And after that session, we all went into a Zoom room together and had a 2 hour conversation.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, I felt when it was happening. One female joined us right as I was getting ready to end it and asked for a card. And I apologized to her, but by then I had to pee so bad I couldn't hardly sit still. And so she has already friended me on Facebook, and I will get to read a card for her at another juncture. I just know I will. But energetically, especially when, okay, so now Saturday night is over, and I've risen on Sunday morning, and all at once there was it has been nonstop since then of my being contacted by people I know, some of them male, and some with just heavy masculine influence who are in one way or another, whether they know it or not or realize it or not, are ready to begin something with themselves, right? Because you help me see that I'm a catalyst, right? And I know from my own observations that especially if people know me, and particularly if they know the old me, they don't come around me necessarily, right? Because my energy sort of rubs some people the wrong way when they're not ready to see themselves or to begin working on things because that's my focus. And so that's how it feels when you're in my field, very transparent. And some people don't even understand why, they just feel irritated. But it's just been nonstop. And I called it, I kind of feel as though it was a sign to me of the rising of the divine or sacred masculine in a very real way, not just with men, but with females as well. As you know, I am heavily masculine in my energy field. And it just, I don't know, even my own suppositions about what this is, I'm very clear that I don't know all of the whole picture, but it feels important and it feels big and it's carried through all day yesterday and today as well.
Yeah.
And so
Well, I
I
think
don't
it
know,
actually
but
started, like the energy actually started when we started doing this, what, three
yes,
weeks ago, 4 weeks
right.
ago?
No, you're right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I have been guided to be here every single day, just about, you know, doing something.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm just really excited about it. And I feel like it's a huge, like I said, a message of some sort to
Yeah.
me and the collective in a very real way. Um, ooh,
I keep hearing a divine union taking place, is what
ah,
I'm feeling.
that makes sense. The
Yeah.
sacred marriage is the way Lisa would put that. Is that would like the yeah the union of the divine masculine and feminine within each being.
Hmm.
That sacred marriage. Yeah. Oh, how lovely. So I also want to share with you that um one of these beings I felt to share some of your work with, right? The deck
Go in
and,
there.
and got my own confirmation of just how powerful what you've done here with this light activations deck is, and the jewelry itself. You know, because I still wear the jewelry you created for me every single day. I mean, you know, that's just part of my outfit. This one came out.
Hmm.
Yeah, right. Oh, I love that one. Let's see. What is this? Hold on a second. I got my little cheat sheet right over here. Let's see what this says. Transformation effect. As of late, you may have been healing deep parts of yourself, the inner child. By doing this, you are bringing other parts of yourself to life. These parts of you that have been forgotten, cast aside, or even brushed down are shouting with excitement for you to continue in your transformation. As you move your healing wings and awaken all of you, you create a transformation frequency not only for yourself, but for others as well. Did you know that you have all kind of effect in everything you do, every choice you make, every piece of you that you heal, you create ripples through time and space. This activation offers a frequency of courage to carry on, to create as you go, and comforts you in rays of light to help process your transformation. You can even transform this frequency at any time with whatever you need. And I'm going to hold that as still as I can because if you are so moved, pause it and just kind of stare into it because I tell you, wow. And it's not lost on me that that card come out right now. There was a lot of chat that we had that night about the inner child, about dun, 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 surrendering to joy. Surrender with joy, achieve greatness through surrender, which I I felt to pull surrender cards yet and again yesterday for myself, and because I just had shared yesterday that the word surrender for beings who have been traumatized through abuse isn't an easy word to contemplate in terms of, you know, anything really. For me, it was a little bit difficult, you know? So,
Yeah. Yeah. We had talked about that before.
mhm. Yep, so much, so much. So, anything else you have that you could bring forward this morning?
It hasn't fully come in, but there's something to do with this divine union and the inner child. Like as soon as you pulled that card up, that's the message that I got. Now it hasn't fully came in yet, but there's something there.
Ah, well, and the moment you said that, this card flipped out of the Fairies Oracle deck. She of the Cruac, which is the divine feminine, right? To me, this is the divine feminine. And I don't know if it was yesterday or day before yesterday, we had the counterpart to this card, he of the fiery sword. So I find that quite interesting. And the boy, I'm freezing all of a sudden. Isn't that interesting? Well, she of the Cruac wants to be heard first.
Okay.
It's this card is a 5 numerologically. That for me is all about change. So, along with this transformation energy, that's kind of interesting to me. That it would show it that they would show up together. So the key words for she of the Cruac are the receptive principle, nurturing, and fertility. This is the great goddess, the many named mother of all. And all goddesses are attributes or aspect of her. Her cup, the Cruac, overflows with bounty for all. She is the yin energy of the universe, nurturing, compassionate, and wise. She gives form and brings into manifestation the will and life force of he of the fiery sword. His is the intention, the action, and hers is the manifest reality. In a sense, she is the Cruac holding all the worlds within her being, which is really sort of, uh, in many ways, speaks to me of the female human anyway, because of what transpires with birth, and it's so much more than birthing, um, a new human into this realm. It's actually the womb for me is very much a cruac, a portal where um, many things reside. Not just the baby human, right? And I don't even really know what that means, to be honest with you. One Oracle group member saw the Cruac as a great bowl, like a scrying tool for seeing past, present, or future potential, but filled with energy instead of water. Within it, he saw a tower with a moon above it, a farmhouse, and many other bits and pieces of our world. He felt that if you dropped something in the water, these things would scatter out to become reality, archetypes manifesting everywhere. He said, she is the woman who dreams, and her dreams are the worlds and all that is in them. Looking at this card, another Oracle group member notes, What I see here is the energy of being held lovingly in the palm of the hand of the great goddess, followed by a relaxed sigh and release. She of the Cruach is the holder of all of our sorrows and all of our joys. Her Cruach, the miraculous chalice, is the womb of birth and the cauldron of rebirth, the chalice of healing, the container holding the germinating seed. She is the body, the soul shrine that holds the spirit and keeps it from being lost or dissipated in a formless fog. She is pattern and form in the abstract and in the specific. Within her, we take form, grow, achieve fulfillment, and let go of that form to move on to the next phase of our being. All of the universe, each individual particle, every being is cherished by her. She of the Cruach may indicate a form of pregnancy, a necessary time of nurturing and development. We need to be open to her overflowing grace, open to her overflowing grace. She may also indicate a need to allow her nurturing grace to flow through us to others in the form of unconditional love and giving and spiritual healing. She tells us of the need for unconditional receiving, of making the best of what we are offered. She also reminds us that unbounded love and grace is ours, just waiting to be accepted. The presence of this card in a reading radiates comfort and nurturing to the cards around it. Wow. Mm. Mm. Yeah, I almost can see a being in there, right? Like all of this, and then this is the being. There's the belt right there around the waist. Wow. I don't know. It's just very interesting to me. Here we're talking about a divine union.
Yeah, this is a big puzzle piece for me. I'm not quite sure where it fits into play here, but this is what's coming up for me. It was like 2 days ago. I was on our website and I was looking at. I don't know if y'all have ever noticed. I have tons of blog posts that I'll halfway write and then I stop and they're just sitting there, right? And so they never get posted. And so I was looking through those, and one of them that caught my eye was like the many layers of shadow work. And so I read through that, and it stopped at where I know I was going to go into talking about the divine feminine and the divine masculine. Now, I know we discussed a couple weeks ago how I just kind of stopped everything, everything that I was doing. I was doing the 32U program, helping people with shadow work, doing all the art, all that stuff, and then it just stopped. And it took me back to around that time as well. I was getting ready to like move into something with that, and it has to do with the layers of shadow work and the collective unconscious, the archetypes, the divine feminine, the divine masculine, but I got stuck there and I couldn't quite wrap my brain around what exactly that was or how that fit into place or how that plays a role in healing the inner child. And it's kind of like all rushing back in right now. Like this has something to do with it. I still don't know what exactly or how that all layers about, but there's something in this. There's something, and I already know something's going to trigger it and it's just going to all come flooding in. I'm going to be like, oh my God, this is what it is.
Well, what is coming for me in regards to what you're speaking on there, because again, like me, you had a period. I got to turn this fan down. Hold on a second. I'm freezing. I'm just freezing up in here. Okay. Um, I wanted to be all kind of upset because I wasn't doing anything, right? But you know what Lisa said to me yesterday? And I know she's right. We are not human doings, we are human beings. At some point, we have forgotten that. And the second part of that for me is I now know with all of me, and you just really solidified it for me. The fact that you and I both were feeling very similarly. Well, I'm not attracted to doing that, so now what? I don't think that it has anything to do with anything other than it wasn't time. Either there's a okay, so I see divine timing in a bit of a different light at the moment. If I have a very specific goal or, whatever it is I came here to do, mission, whatever that is, in to use your words, catalyst, amplifier, these sorts of things. If I'm not aligned properly, what the hell do you think I'm going to catalyze or amplify?
Yep.
A and B, I think too, because this is a free will universe, perhaps those who are to receive said catalyzing and or amplifying weren't ready either. And so it would make absolute sense, especially if one is only moving towards what they feel drawn to do, right? I now have an answer as to why I felt so driven to get the Jeshua channelings re-recorded and up on the channel. If for no other reason, it was because of whom I met on Saturday night. Because Jonathan, who had come into the reading, the intuitive hangout session, the sole reason he was there was because he found the Jeshua channelings and he has been taking them in. And he knew, much like I've known, when he knew there was something for us, and we will be doing a conscious conversation on the 30th, because there's obviously something to bring forward. Either he's, again, it all has to do with, and for lack of better words, I say keys and codes and, activations that happen simply from being around people. And for me, this is the next best thing to be in there kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Oh, Richard has joined us. He says, hello, Sheila and Crystal. Shadow work, the burning by light of awareness until all that is left is gold nugget.
Hmm.
I love that. I love
Mhm.
it. So that's really interesting. So now you feel as though that's coming in and you'll be able to complete perhaps that writing. I bet you will.
Maybe.
I just have a feeling that you will. If indeed that is what we're experiencing here. Um, and see, I was just speaking with Richard right before we came in here. And I was sharing with Richard that I know, and see, you share this same energy with me. I know that I carry that aspect of the dark feminine, right? The Lilith and the Morrigan, those sorts of things. So, Vanessa said, "Good morning, Sheila and Crystal. So nice to catch your live today. Oh, I'm so glad that you could. Welcome." So I wanted to do this Sufi wisdom oracle. The surrender with joy. I'm sorry. Again, for me, that surrender is usually a tough order, a tall order, but I've been working on seeing the word surrender in a different light. Um, doesn't always mean you're being taken prisoner by the opposing forces, which is basically the way I was always holding it. because of my experiences. So it's my understanding and my grokking of the word surrender has softened quite a bit to the way I used to feel about it, or have those um, being triggered by the word surrender, because I have been triggered by the word surrender. Surrender, hell, I ain't surrendering shit. Understand? I can't. I took me too long, too hard to get where I am. I am not surrendering nothing to
Mm,
nobody for no kind of reason. But then see, I being a Libra, I think I overcorrect. The pendulum swings way the other way. Once I see something over here, it goes way the other way, and until finally I kind of, okay, all right, I get it. And that's okay, man, because you know it just is the way it is.
yeah.
So
I
this week,
hear the word acceptance when I hear surrender.
oh, that's lovely. That's lovely. Well, believe me, I have changed the way I hear it now as well. Um, but I had to integrate some of that shadow, although hurt, and at least acknowledge some of the trauma that I was working through in order to have that softening take place for me. I mean, I see that very good. Richard said surrender is not about demission, it is about releasing everything inner self that holds on to tension, stress. It's just an activation of inside expansion. I like the way you put that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Achieve greatness through surrender. Grace of God is like the flow of water, and the universe is like the river. Although a drop of water flowing in any part of the river is different from the precious drop, the grace of God remains constant. Everything in existence constantly benefits from God's infinite grace. Only the conditions change from one level to another, and new circumstances evolve every moment for new possibilities. And this is a quote from somebody, I hope I pronounce this right, Ge- Gisari. It's Gheisari, obviously another Sufi. Rumi's the only Sufi I really have ever heard of, so none of these folks I would recognize. Dearest, life is presented to you as a divine gift of God. Everything that is created is endowed with all that it needs to continue its own life. Surrender to the flow of whatever is coming to you. Regardless if it is causing pain or joy, accept the unfolding as a part of the chain of cause and effect. Not Rufi, Sufi wisdom tells you that the secret to good fortune flows from surrender and selflessness. The key to transformation from the darkness into the light is hidden inside of you. You need to be content with this transformation within yourself, to allow it to change you. You will then be able to share its fruits with others, not just by the words coming out of your mouth. Find the voice of love within yourself and let it be your guide. When you surrender to it, you will not be shaken by every change or every new thing that comes along. Focus on the beauty of life when a major change happens so you can be flexible enough to make the adjustment. Oh, Sufi friend, allow love to radiate from you so you can witness the glory of the expansion of divine wisdom. Like the other Sufis, accept and surrender to the good and bad that happen in your life and allow the transformed light to shine through you. Move out of the way and let the divine voice have its way with you. Let love speak through your heart. There is a mantra here that I will share. Everybody take what resonates with you and leave the rest. I am the living creation of the heart of a loving creator. I am the true expression of the spring of life giving birth to itself. Nothing in life can imprison me again. Well, that's a true statement for me, I can tell you. Such a very true statement for me at this point. Oh, wow, what a beautiful card.
Yeah.
And apropos to go along with everything that we just spoke about for me, Richard said, surrendering to this very moment, right now, right here. Go inside, feel, release everything, feel the expansion. I know it's almost really kind of counterintuitive sometimes, isn't it? You and I had a couple of conversations during the time that we weren't really active on the channel. And I remember telling you that I felt strongly that you were emptying you of those, not just those things that didn't serve, but things that, maybe you had held on to and you didn't even know why, but they just don't matter, right? And I think even though I was saying those words to you, I think they apply to me and many others who may have found themselves kind of confused at why all of a sudden, because I've now been in contact with many who have been moving through just what it feels like, what we sort of experienced, right? That being here but not here, being confused about why am I not drawn to what I always was drawn to before, and what does that mean now? What am I supposed to be doing now that that's not at the forefront? What does all of that mean? Um, and I just kept being told to relax into myself. You got this. Don't worry. You know, and I can see very clearly where I've adjudged something in one way only to find that, oh, it wasn't that at all.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. Vanessa said, I'm finding it extremely difficult to release everything. Okay, well, you know what? Admitting that to yourself may be half the battle, love. And and if I can say, I start asking my questions to myself. That Crystal was so instrumental in that for me. That now I'm in the habit of immediately asking myself questions. Sometimes I don't get the answer right away, but I'm also very clear that depends on where my head is at and how much I've allowed it to become, clouded up with other stuff rather than just me, you know?
Hmm.
Yeah. So I don't know if that'll help you. Richard said thoughts and emotions are just residual conditioning running in unconscious background of our past story that we are so attached to. I agree wholeheartedly. He also said to Vanessa, I feel you. I would like to work with you for this. Richard, I got to tell you, he was in that um, intuitive hangout session. And so I feel like, okay, remember how I said I wanted to start a club where we all just kind of meet and everybody shares their experiences because the and that's really Vanessa, so you kind of figure out what this channel is all about. I look at it as I'm just a being trying to figure me out. And that's what all of this is about. My YouTube channel, well, this is a collaborative one with Crystal and my housemate, Lisa Flamino Rush. Um, I see it as, learning about me out loud. And if it assists somebody else, that's a win-win situation. Otherwise, that's what I say may not be for somebody else because I'm very clear. I'm not a teacher. I'm not. I really do feel like uh, everybody teaches a little and everybody learns a little. This is what it's meant to be. It's not. This is why I usually get a little frustrated with some light workers who, they've developed a system that worked for them, and now, in trying to share it, there's a lot of and this, I don't know, it's not for all that I'm saying this, but rigid, this is the same kind of way that I feel about religion. This is the way to do it, and this is the only way, but it might not work for somebody else because we're all so individually unique. That's why I was really drawn to the way you were teaching your 32 and you program, the shadow work curriculum that you put together was so helpful because you're not trying to tell people stuff. You're showing them how you went about your thing and how they might benefit from the same, right? And this is what I said to Lisa last night. if if somebody's not pointing me back into me, I don't think that's a good sitch because you're not in here. You don't know the fullness of what I got going on. Oh, I've shared a lot with you and with Lisa because I live with her. Y'all know more about me probably than most anybody. But it can't ever be the fullness because you're not in here with me and you haven't experienced everything I've ever experienced in my whole life. And no matter how I try to share that, the fullness of that can never be communicated to another being. Oh, we might think we're getting it across, but everybody understands the language coming out of your mouth a little differently according to their own experiential filter. And that's how that works. So you and Lisa were really good at that, pointing me back into me. Well, this is what I got, but that doesn't mean it's right for you. You got to ask those questions. You got to do the work because it is an inside job. No master is going to appear and sprinkle something over your head and say, poof, you're whatever. I mean, you could find people that you could pay to do that, and it might work for a little while, but
But you'll need to go back to them and pay them again.
that's right.
That's the pattern.
That's the pattern. It's the exact same in medicine and in psychiatry and in most anything else, for me anyway. Yep. Well, I love this. Apparently, Vanessa and Richard are connecting because Vanessa said that would be so helpful. And Richard said, I appreciate your response. I work one-on-one conversation, learning together, experimenting. If you feel it, please ask my. Okay, so you're giving me the okay to share your information with Vanessa. Vanessa, if you reach out to me, um, conscious conversation central at gmail.com, I can put the two of you together. Okay. So that's beautiful. See, I just love it.
I
I could,
mean, hold on. Is that not a perfect example in the physical realm of divine union?
yes,
Like,
I
that's crazy.
agree. I agree.
That's really cool.
If we allow ourselves to okay, so one of the largest things that I said when I very first started Conscious Conversation Central was if you cannot open your mind to consider a new concept, what are you doing? Because there's not going to be anything anybody could do for anybody anyway. You prove it to me. No, that's not how this works. I don't got to prove jack nothing to you. All I have to do is prove it to myself. You got to prove it to you. And anybody worth their salt will tell you that that's what it has to be. Because, I had all kinds of beings telling me all kinds of things about my health. Turned out they were wrong. I followed them for a really long time and did everything they said and got sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker. Now, this is in the medical industry. This is not the metaphysical industry, it's the medical industry. Well, can't fault them but so much because honestly, I was looking for that diagnosis when I found it, and I heard what I wanted to hear, and they were solving my problem for me. Oh, wow, what a metaphor. Until it just didn't work anymore. And I had to face me on every level. And so, oh man, wow. Well, I love that. I love that you're, feeling to pull it. Because, see, to me, that's a huge synchronicity too. That you're feeling the divine union, the sacred union of the masculine and the feminine. And I felt the huge, it's just like, well, I described it like this back when I first started Conscious Conversations Central. It was about 2018, I guess. So I had the channel for about a year. And I actually was speaking to a male because I wanted to get the male perspective on the metaphysical and how they were perceiving things and, all like that. And that particular male told me that that wasn't going to ever happen. You're not going to be able to talk to a male. They're not going to, that's not ever going to happen. And just forget it. And okay, well, and then I started noticing, well, there's not a lot of males in the metaphysical arena that I could see, that I could tell. And so, like I said, my own observation. So from 2017 to 2024, and what had always historically been 95% female in my lives on Saturday night was 100% male. 100%. And that just blew me away, especially since they were not quiet. They didn't just sit in the background and listen. They were speaking to each other in the remarks in the chat. They wanted to meet together after the fact. I could feel it, and so I offered up my Zoom room, and it was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And it just showed me that things are moving rather rapidly at this point, and especially
Hmm.
since that. Vanessa said, I that's what's happening to me also. Oh, in terms of the medical, oh, honey. She's, I hear your pain and frustration, but also your strength and insight. Well, thank you, Vanessa. Um, yeah, no, I practically ran myself off the planet. So running, I was running. I see that now in a very real way. I was running from whatever this is. whatever it is that this mission I'm supposed to do, it does feel huge. It feels very public eventually. And I think I was just running from that, you know. That's the way it feels anyway. Because since I haven't run anymore, except for lately because of what I think's going on in this house with the mold situation, the suspected mold situation, uh, my health just keeps in improving. Well, Vanessa, when you reach out to me, if you also give me a time you're available, I'm happy to share my personal story with you, and we'll see what we can come up with. You know, if that's something you feel drawn to. Well, my darling, I feel kind of complete. How do you feel about this?
Yeah.
Does anything else come in for you?
No.
Well, I kind of feel like, and look at how all the colors that came out today are very similar too,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, there's been a lot of blue in the way in my field recently because well, you know, blue is my favorite color too, but that's just another puzzle piece that has me feeling about, you know, that aspect of Gabriel that this time for speaking now is imperative, even if nobody shows up, which I've had, you know, like we've got three in the room right now. Even, but is it yesterday? Yesterday, I don't think anybody was there during the live that I did in the morning, and it doesn't matter. I'm still to be there.
Yeah.
Even if it's to activate my own self, which I don't know, but I have had that happen. So, you know,
Oh, I have too. There's been times where I just turn Zoom on and just do a video and just say what I got to say, but I don't ever release it. But still, there's something in it and it
right,
helps.
right. Well, if you're saving those, there may come a time where you feel to release them.
Maybe.
Well, the reason I'm saying it that way is because that has happened to me, and then the little me doesn't want to release it.
Well, most of the time, what winds up happening is whatever I say in the video, I have the aha moments or it activates whatever it needs to do, and then I have a conversation, you typically with you. And so I already say whatever it is that was in the video. So it's like, there really ain't no point in releasing it, you know?
Oh, I see. I gotcha. I gotcha. Yep. Well, as long as you're releasing it into the ether, into the field, it ripples out no matter what. Remember, I used to be obsessed about, oh, we got to record this and put it out, and oh, this would be so helpful. But I really do see now it doesn't matter. The fact that the conversation was held, whether you're alone speaking it out to yourself or in company, it still releases it into the field. That's
Yep.
what I keep being shown about that. Well, I am about halfway through, about halfway, I guess, a little less than halfway with the soul's journey. And this one too, I'm feeling driven to get it complete. And so um, I highly recommend if y'all have not uh, taken a look around. I changed the name of the Knowledge Vault on our channel to the Handbook for the New Paradigm because that's all that's in there. Is that because I kind of thought about that, and there's really no way to I was thinking I was going to be able to put everything under that kind of a heading and then have playlists under that, but that's not how that works on YouTube. So I went ahead and changed that one to the Handbook for the New Paradigm, and I highly recommend that to any who feel drawn. There's three books. I've narrated them all, not narrated, but read them. out loud, and they are in that playlist. To me, the one that I was highly driven to get finished was the Jeshua channelings. And this one, the Soul's Journey, A Soul's Journey. Uh, and those two feel so validating in regards to things I always felt were so, and they're just validated in these writings. And so as to why I feel driven, the only thing I can point to is what happened with Jonathan. So that means, that says to me that there are more beings like that who, when they expose themselves, if they feel drawn to um, those readings, it will expose them not just to those words, but to my frequency as I intone those words, which I've been made aware for some beings, as Crystal said, is a catalyst for something. And it's different for each being as to what it's a catalyst for. Either catalyst and or amplification, because I just came in, because I know you used both those words with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's it for me. Did you have anything else?
No.
I did most of the talking today.
Mm.
Do you have a few moments after we get out of here that I can hit you back up and we can come back in? Okay, cool.
Good.
All right, we'll use this. We'll use this same room, because once I disconnect and come back in, it'll be a different.
Okay.
It'll let this one go. So I appreciate everyone who has showed up. Thank you all so much. I feel like it's so beautiful that Richard and Vanessa are connecting.
Yeah.
And that's what this is actually, to me, that is what this is all about. It's about beings finding each other and, moving towards the way we feel drawn. And if you're not drawn, don't do it. You know what I mean? Vanessa said, "Thank you, Sheila and Crystal, for your time, knowledge, determination, and love. I very much appreciate you." Oh, you're so welcome. So welcome. Like I said, it's really for me. I've said before, because Crystal's sitting here, it is less like this for me. But most of the time when I'm here alone, it's just 12-year-old me talking to me, because I don't see y'all. I'm seeing me, and that's it. Because Crystal's here, I can see Crystal. But other than that, it's usually just me with me. And so I activate the crap out of my own self sometimes. Because I do feel the words that are coming out of my mouth when they come out.
Yeah.
This morning, as I started trying to record A Soul's Journey, I had the oddest sensation. My eyes were vibrating with my voice. Now, I'm not sure what that means or what it's going to, produce, but it was so
Yeah.
interesting. I've never had that happen before.
Well, that's what's kind of happening over here. Every time I speak, it reverberates through my body. Like it's ping ponging everywhere. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's weird, an
Mm-hmm.
odd sensation. It's cool, but it also, even when I stop, there's still a wave moving through me.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you get a sense that that is what's happening? You're activating you in some way?
Something.
Yeah.
There's something taking place.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. All right. Well, I'll see you in just a few minutes. And I want to say thank you to everyone. Okay, so I say this all the time. I hope that you will move towards that which brings you joy in every moment that presents itself to you. I personally am convinced it is through that method that you will find your mission in life. For me, that's what I have noticed, and that too will vary for each person. And it's just really a matter of perspective and allowing oneself the opportunity to open and see, sense, and feel a different perspective from the one I hold um, at that moment if I don't feel like I'm very joyous in that moment, you know. So till we meet again. Mwah.